Greetings and welcome to Sonic Weekly, the show where we talk about Sonic with friends. My name is Bo. I'm in for Grant at the controls this week, and I'm happy to be talking about Sonic with my friends, the star of our show, David the Lurker.
Whoa, hi Bo. That's right. You said friends, which is plural, because it's not just you and I. It's a Lady Gaga song, right? You and I. I can't go any further because we'll get copyright struck. But yeah.
Let's have some fun. This beat is sick. It's Barry the Nomad.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's the name of this show again? Sonic
every 7 days or so.
Okay. All right. Good. I was going to say.
You're going to say. I felt what you were putting down.
Yeah.
But I guess we're not getting there yet. We're saving that. We're letting that simmer in the pot.
Yeah.
You will get to use your pun. But before that, right, we are Grantless. I don't know where Grant is.
Grant is on special assignment. He'll be back next week, we presume. But I think we can hold down the fort ourselves. Things are happening in the Sonic realm. There's some news on Sonic Stadium if we want to go look at it. But nothing so important as last week in the Ben Kingsley of it all.
No.
Which hasn't been confirmed yet, oddly enough.
No, it hasn't. Right, it's just floating out there still, no official word, but that's fine. I mean, I guess if we're looking at the news, we're just going over what's happened over the last week. Number one, they drew Amy Rose with glasses. That's what they did. I don't think we've really talked about it, but every year over on Sonic Channel, the Japanese Sonic the Hedgehog website, they have some sort of theme when they release their monthly calendars. This year, I guess, has been Read. Oh, good luck glasses, I guess is what they call it. And we've seen Silver, we've seen Tails. Now Amy's wearing glasses.
Wait, have the other characters also been wearing the glasses?
Well, this is only the third one, so presumably we've got a whole lot of specs to see.
That's the theme?
Yeah.
Who's in glasses?
They're all wearing glasses every month, right? So the first in January it was Tails. He's wearing glasses. Last month it was Silver. He's wearing glasses, and now Amy, she's wearing glasses.
Didn't the previous one, wasn't it like Life in Sonic's World, and it was the characters doing like mundane things?
Yeah, they've done a whole series of illustrations for that.
Yeah, but this whole year, it's glasses.
Yeah,
just wearing glasses,
right? Because it's also when they did the like Iseki. Like the story where, the world is different. Like we talked about that while it was sort of whatever. Isekai. I said Iseki.
Isekai, yeah. You're transported into a different situation and then you have to somehow resolve the situation.
Right. Like Silver was an ice skater with Elise and then a couple years before that, it was just a random story. Like they always have some sort of theme that they want to push. Be it sometimes it's a story, sometimes it's just pictures. This year
it's just glasses. Are they being bribed by big ophthalmologist or what?
Ray-Ban? Yeah.
Well, I guess as long as they're not Meta AI glasses, right? That they're walking around in.
None of us are wearing glasses right now. No. I wore glasses for many years until I had laser surgery to relieve me of that burden. And it's great. It is a nice thing to not have to wear glasses, but I was always a little disappointed in it because my friend who sold me on the idea of it was talking about how he could see satellites in low Earth orbit after he got his laser eye surgery. And I thought, I want to see satellites in low Earth orbit. That sounds awesome. And I just got boring 20/20 vision. He got Superman vision. And I was never quite happy with it.
Wow.
Maybe next year's theme will be Sonic characters post LASIK surgery. That would be cool. And it would just be characters looking bewildered at things. Sonic looking at clouds, and they're like crystal clear for the first time. The Buddy avatar with the glasses.
Yeah, I was trying to think which other characters have worn glasses, and the avatar is the one that came to mind. But is there anyone else? Eggman has his little pince nez.
Right, he does. I don't know if those are prescription or if they're just fashion.
And then some of them have that like upgrade in Sonic Adventure 2 where it like covers their eyes. Yeah. Knuckles
Rouge
does.
and Knuckles, yeah.
Rouge has the... And I guess Sonic does He also has that in like the second or third episode of Sonic X. He wears the eye thing over one eye.
Tails has goggles and Sonic Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I guess none of those people are really wearing like, here's prescription lenses.
Corrective lenses. Yeah.
Yes.
That's exciting. I'm excited to see what's to come. Who's wearing glasses?
Yeah. I know when we record, I don't wear glasses, but I wear them when I go out. So I don't need them in the house. But if I'm going out somewhere, if I were to drive somewhere, I got to put on the glasses. Otherwise, I can't see all that great. And there's lots of famous people. You know, what am I doing?
Yuji Naka.
Yuji Naka wears glasses. That's right. And he's in Burning Rangers. So does he wear glasses? Does his model
hard to tell from his 3D model. I think his animated avatar does have the glasses, though. All right. So what's the next news story after the glasses?
Right. Somebody I've never seen wear glasses. The members of Crush 40.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And
they're teasing the Ides of March. So I presume they're going to assassinate Julius Caesar.
It's about time. Yeah, it was put up on their social media. What is it? It's 12 seconds of
Live and learn.
Live and learn. There's a date. Is that it?
March 15th. By the time people listen to this, probably they'll know what this is.
Yeah. Now, I know a few weeks back, we did talk about Johnny Gioeli. There was an interview where he was like, oh, yeah, we're planning this tour, and it's going to be...
so many cities. It was going to start in December.
Yeah, multiple cities.
It was strange announcement.
Yeah, it was going to be unlike anything that a video game concert has ever been. It was going to have a storyline. That's what it was. He was like, yeah, it's got a story. Who knows what's going on? Maybe this is what it's connected to? Presumably? I don't know.
One presumes.
It's odd, though, because the Crush 40 Twitter account is the personal account of Jun, right? And he's not talking at all about it.
No.
I am a little worried about
You think they broke up?
Yeah, Crush 40 of it all after the Live and Learn lawsuit and Johnny losing very hard in that judgment.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a rift.
Or if it's like, I want to do a tour. Well, I can't because I'm a SEGA employee. And it's like, all right, well, then I give you the blessing to do it without me. Mm-hmm. Hire a different guitarist and do, what is it, like 365 cities, 365 days? Like, it's really ambitious. And they're like laser lights, VR experiences.
Multimedia.
It just sounds too good to be true. Is it going to be a Kickstarter?
Oh, hopefully. I love Kickstarters.
Well, they're not all bad.
Yeah. Do you think anyone has ever like donated to every single Kickstarter that's ever existed?
That was a Portlandia sketch where it was a Kickstarter to support their Kickstarter addiction. And they're like, I've gone into debt pledging Kickstarters. So your donation will support me in pledging to more Kickstarters. But yeah, I have no idea what's going on with this. Is there some like rumor out there of...
Aside from what Johnny said in that one interview, there's been no other talk about it. Definitely nothing from Sega, nothing from June. Yeah, so March 15th, I mean, that's also the day that supposedly a mysterious Firefly adjacent announcement is supposed to happen.
Firefly, the sci-fi series from
yes, the very short
early aughts.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion and a bunch of the other cast members, they've been putting out these videos on Instagram where he knocks on the door to their house and they open it and it's like, is it time? He's like, yeah, it is. He's like, are you here because of what I think it is? And he's like, yeah. And no one knows what it's actually about.
Hold up. Firefly is a brand of toothbrush, and they have a sonic toothbrush with interactive adventures. So you go on an interactive adventure while you brush your teeth. I bet Crush 40 is doing the music for a Firefly toothbrush.
Oh,
I think we bought one of those for my older son for Christmas.
I've been meaning to get one because it's the one Sonic game I haven't played.
Bo, have you ever stolen his toothbrush and used it just to experience all the Sonic?
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one because I think the game on this toothbrush was press the button and it spins. We did get him a Sonic wristwatch that has Sonic telling time. It's a picture of Sonic over a clock. But it does have games you can play, but they're not related to Sonic. They're the worst sorts of 2002 era cell phone games. Like there's this really annoying shooter that doesn't work well on a touchscreen. There's this really annoying puzzle game that doesn't work well on a touchscreen. There's another really annoying puzzle game that doesn't work well on a touchscreen. I don't know how they're Sonic related.
You should have gotten him the 90s wristwatch. You remember the giant yellow one with the LCD game?
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah, I always wanted that as a kid. I never got it because you had to like mail for it. I don't think you could just buy it. Maybe you could. Like, I don't know.
What's it go for on eBay?
Probably way too much.
It's got the Sonic bump.
Much. That's right. It is molded Sonic's sticking out. It looked super, super cool. I was like, oh man, I want this. Never happened.
Well, speaking of merch,
to me
like there's other merch news.
Yeah, I mean, we don't talk a ton about Sonic merchandise because there's always new merch coming out. Like, for instance, Shadow the Hedgehog Sega Labby's cuddly toy teased by Sega. I like that headline. And also there's some Sonic 35th anniversary sculpture by French artist Richard Orlinski revealed, drops mid-March. There's Sonic. But maybe the big one we should talk about involves Barry. I forget. Did you get this in the mail? You got a physical version of this from Limited Run, right? The Sonic X Shadow. Or did you not? You did get it, right?
So I was not one of the lucky few to receive theirs.
Okay.
Which I wish I was, because at this stage, I would have had everything, and I would have had a replacement statue coming. And, I mean, not to step on the toes of the news story.
No, go ahead.
I would have had, I presume, 2 statues. So I would have the one that people don't like, and then the one that presumably is going to look really cool. But instead, I have nothing until the end of the year. So that's fun.
Right.
My experience of this is that they've just been screwing this up repeatedly, and they're on like the 4th iteration of getting it wrong. Is that
I have some behind the scenes insight, but I want David to read the news first.
You want me to read the news, right?
Well, yes, because what's going on?
Right, okay, so this was announced before the game was released. They were like, hey, pre-order, it'll come a little bit later. Don't worry, you'll get the game in the mail before you get the rest of the collection. And delay after delay, it finally started showing up in people's mailboxes on their front porch. And immediately people started talking about quality control issues, quality assurance. The Sonic Shadow Dreamcast statue, it looked a little cheap. It was painted wrong. The eyes were wonky.
Shadow's eyes were really wonky.
Shadow's eyes were wonky from most angles. Yes. I saw at least one statue where from one angle it looked fine, but there were clearly things had broken down, and not everyone got it before Limited Run went, okay, hold on, we're delaying it even more, which is funny because presumably it was done. It was already being mailed. They sent out an email just, recently. This was just a couple days ago, saying, hey, we owe you a clear apology. Seriously. A number of you have received your Sonic X Shadow Generation Collector's Edition, and the Sonic and Shadow Dreamcast statue was not up to the standard you deserve, or the standard we set for ourselves. The quality is not acceptable. If you are disappointed or frustrated, you have a right to be. There is new leadership at Limited Run Games, and with that comes a new vision and higher expectations for what an LRG release should mean for the gaming community and for our fans. So it's basically apologies. We're going to do it better.
Heads have rolled.
Yeah, and effective immediately, we are pausing any additional shipments of the collector's edition, going back into a completely new production cycle for the final statue so that it matches what fans expect from a premium collector's edition offering.
Yeah, so
it's like they're never going to financially recover from this.
No, and I have some, information that I know behind the scenes on this, and just some thoughts. Quality Control, that's actually a Jurassic 5 song. It was on the Dreamcast
Fantastic
demo
song.
disc. Yeah, the music video. It was the first time I saw a music video on the Dreamcast.
I always got confused because that song is not the Jurassic 5 song on Jet Set Radio. It's just a random.
The official Dreamcast magazine staff were just as confused, but they still thought it was cool that they got to put I asked them, I'm like, why didn't they use the one from the game? They're like, I guess they didn't have a video.
The one that
like,
that video,
makes sense. I don't think there is a video for you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I love Jurassic 5. But so first off, one thing I want to argue against, a lot of Sonic fans out there were saying, this is a $200 statue. No, it is not a $200 statue. It is a statue in a $200 collection. Mm-hmm. If you do the breakdown, of all the individual pieces, and you can even go pretty cheap on some of them. Like the CD, you might say, oh, a CD soundtrack's $25 or something. Let's say that's like 15 or something. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I broke it down. The statue is like maybe a $40 or $50 statue, if that. And I own some $40, $50 Sonic statues, and they're about that quality. Having said that, I think them shipping and arriving broken is not cool. Mm-hmm. I also think exposed like seams, that's fine. Like it's molded plastic, but they have some where there's just like clear gaps where the plastic is supposed to meet, but it just like didn't fill all the way in, I guess. And then the other thing is, and I'm looking at my shelf full of Sonic the Hedgehog toys. It's very difficult to get the eyes right because it's a 3-dimensional like Sonic eye or shadow eye, and they have to like be placed perfectly. It's almost like a Muppet. You know, if you look at a Muppet, if you take Kermit's eye and just like rotate it a little bit, it looks wrong. You have to get it exact. So I'm not forgiving the eyes, but I understand how difficult it is to get like the perfect eyes. I'm looking at about 6 Sonic toys right here, and the eyes they all are like a little bit off.
So the whole package is $250, and so the big component of that is the game.
The game's $50.
Yeah,
and then the rest is $200. But that comes with 3 Chao statue, art book, music CD, Dreamcast jewel case. I think a steel book.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're a statue collector, you have certain expectations for what something is going to be for $250, and
right. And I think
you shouldn't have this expectation because this is just part of a bundle.
It's not a $250 statue because it's a collection. So there's that. So they initially said, we're going to, check everything. We'll replace the broken ones. And it's likely that during those checks, they were like, there's a lot more broken ones here than we expected. But also behind the scenes, their former president, Josh, who I think was a founder, he left or gave his notice earlier in 2025, but stuck around for transition. And he officially left not too long ago. His big thing was collectibles, trading cards, really turning limited run games into a merch manufacturer more than just a game manufacturer. And that's why you had those Sega Dreamcast drops where it's like Jet Set Radio merch, Shenmue merch, Sonic Adventure merch with no game attached to it, which is kind of odd. And it's interesting that they had a steady clip of those announcements. And then behind the scenes, Josh said he was leaving and they stopped doing them. The last one was Jet Set Radio in mid last year. So, I'm certain they were going to do Space Channel 5, Sonic Adventure 2. They just stopped everything. And I think it's a mix of Josh leaving and Sega seeing the quality of the product. And they're like, we got to put a pause on this until you get things right. And I feel like right now they're throwing Josh under the bus. Like it's pretty bold of them to make that email and be like, there's new leadership. What they're basically saying is, we're going to release product that actually is of high quality. We're not going to make people wait years for things. And we're probably going to shift our focus back to games and less on making ourselves like a skateboard, deck, hat, t-shirt company. Like they're not insert coin clothing, but they wanted to be. And Josh has since left. Interestingly, last week he bought some offices and he is the owner of Digital Pictures. He is Mr. Digital Pictures.
Wow. Yes. This intersects with the Saturn buzz recently. Yes.
So he bought them, and I thought he meant Limited Run Games bought them, but no, this is him.
Digital Pictures, FMV game maker, early 90s, some Sega CD stuff.
Night Trap, Double Switch.
Yeah,
Sewer
exactly.
Shark, but all of the classics already came out. So now Josh is working independently, but with Limited Run Games for Prize Fighter. And
Prize Fighter, yeah, they put the Saturn edition on archive.org for free for people to play. Official new Saturn game.
And I think that's Josh's doing.
Yeah, it has to be.
But it's interesting because the developer is still Screaming Villains. And Screaming Villains is a one-man team. And I asked him, I interviewed him years ago, and I was like, why do you have this name that makes it sound like there's multiple people? And I think that was his reason. It's like, it makes me sound like something larger than I actually am. Like there's a plural there and like, oh, who's on the team? Oh, just me. But he's a really cool guy. So I I like the developer. I'm not a big fan of Josh, but he's the owner now of Digital Pictures. And I feel like he's going to create a office space, and it'll be the new Digital Pictures headquarters. It's going to be a lot like Atari right now, where they're really like, it's a bunch of guys like our age, really happy to be like resurrecting something that they grew up with. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes, because I don't feel like Digital Pictures has that longevity unless he starts making sequels like Night Trap 2 with new actors. He might, because he owns the IP, but what else is there to release outside of Scottie Pippen, Prize Fighter, Marky Mark?
Right. And you probably have to clear all the music if you're going to go into...
I think, do a new Night Trap, get a Scandal going.
I mean, hell, they even re-release Kids on Sight.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, he could sell the film rights still. Like Night Trap the movie could happen, but I don't know if it will.
I'll write it. I'll write Night Trap the movie. I'm going to throw that out there right now. Josh, if you're listening, which I know you're not, I will write the screenplay to Night Trap the movie. We'll make it, 90 minutes, 2 hours. We'll make sure the song is in there. We'll find somebody who looks like Dana Plato, and we're gonna have a good time. I'll do it.
It is funny to me because there is a community of guys out there, again, like guys our age, who lucked into purchasing or becoming, higher ups in these legacy brands, and they're all friends. And I know them all, but I'm not really in their little group, but I'm on like periphery. And I just think it's really interesting to be like the Atari guy's best friends with the Digital Pictures guy, but they just are like dudes who just happen to have these legacy brands now. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, going back to Sonic and Shadow Generations, I think this is the smart move, but it's also I bet they're taking the hit to keep Sega happy. They don't want to lose Sega, because I don't think Sega's done anything since. It's been very quiet. Yeah. There's been no Sega releases. So I'm wondering if Sega cut ties or said, do better, because the next thing we have to look forward to is the Crossworlds special edition, which we know nothing about. That's got a statue with 2 cars and 2 characters in the cars.
They announced that before they even shipped the first Sonic X Shadow set.
I think you're right. That's why I didn't buy it. Plus, I don't know.
Yeah.
The statue wasn't all that cool to me.
No. See, what I ideally want, and it feels like it's either they do this big thing or nothing, just give me a collector's edition that only has like the soundtrack and an art book and maybe a tiny little like keychain size figure, if that. Just like the stuff that adds to the experience, something I can put in a CD player, something I can put like just a book. I don't need all the extra bits 100%. And bobs.
That's where I am with video games, movies, and TV shows that I like. I'm like, all right, I love this. Now, where is the soundtrack and art book? Mm-hmm. And then maybe like a novelization. Like, that's my thing. But Limited Run, they're doing a lot of weird stuff. It's like Poster. Well, I'm not putting that up. Fake Dreamcast case. I guess that's fun to like put on my shelf. But Sonic and Shadow Generations wasn't even a Dreamcast game. Like, it makes more sense for Shenmue 3, which I thought was cool, or Space Channel 5 VR, which they did it for. But Steelbook, like, what am I going to do with the Steelbook? I already have the game in a case. Am I going to move it to the Steelbook?
That always seems strange. We're like, here's a regular case on a Steelbook. Shouldn't you just be in the Steelbook? Why? Because then also you're just paying for more packaging at that point.
They go one further. They have ones where it's a large clamshell Genesis style case, and inside is the Steelbook. And you're like, Mother Nature's weeping right now. We're like, God's looking down on us. Oh, they're putting a Steelbook inside of a clamshell case.
Right. I mean, it would be neat if they made a Sega Genesis type box that just held a CD inside of it, a disc.
That would be the dream for the Saturn era, right?
Oh,
clamshell CD cases.
Yeah.
Not these long boxes where the CDs fall out and get scratched, and then
I saw a video the other day from a used game retailer who was like taking all of the cracked Saturn boxes and replacing them with new boxes. And then he went outside his store with the cracked box and just didn't even toss it. He just like gently threw it on the ground, and it shattered into like 100 pieces, like glass. It was amazing.
How many long boxes have you broken over the years? CD, Saturn.
Let's hear what Bo has to say. He must have broken some.
I sadly replaced all my long boxes with CD sleeves when I moved out of my parents' house, and I have 0 left.
Oh,
but
so I guess you destroyed them all, actually, is what you're saying.
I destroyed them all. I kept all the liner notes and the manuals and such. But yeah, the long boxes are long gone.
I've moved multiple times, and surprisingly, I haven't really broken any, but I have noticed that over the years, like the little door connectors have snapped off on a few, and on one of them, the whole backside shattered. And so there's like little shards sticking out, but oh well.
Yeah. Except for the games that I got where they were already broken. Like I got a copy of Wonder Dog on the Sega CD where the case was literally in 2 pieces. Like it just was like that. The only ones I ever broke were the Sonic ones. I remember one morning waking up, getting out of bed, and my foot collided into the Sonic R Saturn case. And I was just like, what have I done?
And it's ironic because when you step on any of the Sonic Saturn games, you kind of make the sound of the game. Blast! Where you go, R!
R.
Yeah.
Jam it.
Jam. God jam it.
But the other ones are fine. So I don't know. I guess because I just love Sonic that much. And sometimes you hurt the ones you love.
All right. I think that's as good a time as we need to move to our next segment.
Yeah. We're still in the realm.
Is that?
Well, I think.
What? It's.
Rings of Saturn.
Rings of Saturn this week. On the Saturn home planet, I'm continuing my series on the Battle Arena Toshinden games. We talked last week about Remix, and this week we're going to Ultimate Revenge Attack. So I mentioned last week, like Battle Arena Toshinden Remix is a terrible name. An even worse name is Battle Arena Toshinden Ultimate Revenge Attack. Just come on, guys, Toshinden 2. That's what they called it on the PlayStation, and that makes way more sense. Anyway, you know what I do on the Rings of Saturn. I look and I find, are there new cheat codes for this game that didn't get published sometime in the last 30 years? Yes, in this case. But what's a little weird about this one is the developers put in all the stuff you need for a cheat code, even like the button sequence. But then they nerfed it at the last moment. So you put it in and then there's a little thing that resets the buffer that had the buttons you were pressing. And I wondered, why would you do that? Why would you make a good cheat code and then not use it? And so I fixed it. I patched the game code to see what this thing would do. And it's the dumbest little effect. You put it in, and there's a sound effect, and then the press start button on the title screen just starts spinning in a circle. So I don't know, somebody in the office was bored, and they were like, hey, check this out. And they're like, you have to take that out. And they're like, okay, I'm sorry.
Right. I know I've heard a story or two where someone shoves something in a game and they're like, you can't, you have to remove it.
We're not doing that.
Yeah. Maybe somebody just really hated, like they saw it upside down and couldn't recognize it anymore. And then they were like, is that a swear? Is that a swear word now?
I kind of have it in my head that Sega demanded a title screen, like on their standards for their QA acceptance. Was games have to have a title screen. So if you have like a PlayStation version of a game that's also on Saturn, the Saturn will always have a press start before you get to the main menu. And a lot of times PlayStation will go straight into the main menu. I wonder if they like people resented that. Like, I got to put a title screen in here.
My favorite title screen is the Wipeout 3 title screen that says Wipeout 3 title screen. That's my favorite one.
That sounds like a good one. If I ever make a game, that will be my title screen. It'll just say the word title screen in it.
I like a title screen.
Sonic's had some pretty boring title screens recently. Forces was a weird one. It's like a room.
Yeah. Sonic R is, play with the R. That's the kind of title screen you need.
That's what we need.
That's the little Easter egg that should
Can
be
you do anything with that R? Are there any like secrets about the R? Or?
Sonic R is so bare bones. There's nothing hidden. Sadly.
Oh.
If anything, they told the developers, they're like, put more secrets in. Like, we don't have time. We don't care.
Just add a few more courses.
What if Sonic had glasses? What if all the characters had glasses?
On Sonic.
Yeah.
We can't do clear, or they can on the Saturn, right? You can do.
Yeah, you do some transparencies if you
they can do
Sonic R has some. Look at Radiant Emerald.
Yeah, you can see it. That's why it's better on the Saturn than it is on PC.
That's true.
And all the later ports base it on the PC. frustrates me because I want to be able to see the vastness of space while I'm running.
Always wanted to find cheat codes in Sonic R, never did. Always wanted to find cheat codes in Croc, Legend of the Gobos for Saturn, never did. And still have not. But I did find some for the PlayStation version. So I looked for Saturn, they're not there. I thought I better check the PlayStation version just in case. And what do you know? You can hold some buttons on not the title screen, but on the main menu, and you get the credits. But not just that. If you press some different buttons on the credits item, you can get a different code that enables like the position of Croc on the screen, like the XYZ coordinates, and then which file is loaded. Oh. And so not cheat code to write home about, but some retro game sites did write about it. So they're excited about the Croc cheat codes uncovered after these 29 years.
Well, Croc is coming back, right? Croc is back.
Croc came back. Yeah. I was thinking as Barry was telling us about these legacy IPs, like, oh, could I buy Argonaut and resurrect Croc? But they already did it. I got to find someone else.
There's always something out there to buy. You just got to go real obscure, maybe.
Can I get Bug?
Bug?
You think I could get Bug?
Who owns Bug?
It might just be Sega. Real Time Associates did the development.
David, wasn't there a time that Sonic Retro behind the scenes was trying to buy something like Pabsy?
I think at one point we were trying to buy Pabsy. Yeah, we thought it would be funny.
They're already doing Pabsy. This has been taken
Pabsy,
already.
I think what happened was either he had already been bought. It was just the impression that, God, what are they called again? Accolade? Was that it?
Yeah,
Pabsy.
right.
Yeah. For a time, it seemed like Accolade may have just been now owned by one person and maybe they'd be willing to sell it. But actually, that was never really the case. And that's why it was, it's been bought and owned by who? I guess Atari? Is it Atari that owns it now?
Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, write in. Tell me what brand I should be shopping for.
Yeah, it wasn't just retro. I also knew another guy, someone, I won't say who, because I don't know if this was ever public, but he also looked into buying Pabsy because he wanted to see if he could just buy it cheap and make a Pabsy game. That was separate of retro. But as we know, it didn't happen. So
Ken Penders doesn't own anything, and he keeps making. What's stopping him? I think we've learned through the current political climate. If you just do things, and no one stops you, just keep doing it.
Last thing that I just did for Rings of Saturn is also a PlayStation thing. Do you guys know what the very first PlayStation game is or was?
Oh man,
the very
never
first.
Thought about that.
Yeah,
serial number 1. Japanese launch title is Ridge Racer from Namco.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's Ridge Racer.
Arcade game, and then becomes the PlayStation launch title. So there's not a whole lot of PlayStation software that you can get that's older than Ridge Racer. There's a couple Japanese games that are from like the same week that they went gold. There's Crime Crackers. Never made it over to the US.
That sounds fun.
There's a few. But I found hidden on a Japanese demo disc, the Demo Volume 1, there's a pre-release version of Ridge Racer that is from even earlier in the PlayStation software development cycle. And it's one of these where they put the whole build on the disc and only lightly restricted it so you can just get a little taste of it before it ends. And so anyway, I took out the restrictions, and it's pretty cool. There's when the race starts, normally there's a card girl who walks by in a sultry fashion and announces the race, but in this demo, it's a helicopter. There's no card girl. It's a machine instead.
Whoa.
And then the cars look different, and the decals on the cars are different, and the menus are different. If you're into prototype games and antique PlayStation stuff, this is something to be excited about. I don't know how many people that is, but...
I never picked up the original. I own it on Type 4. They have a bonus disc, and it's the 60 frames per second version of the original Ridge Racer. But, yeah.
I mean, that is pretty interesting. I mean, that's primordial PlayStation right there.
Yeah, 1994, October.
Wow. That is cool.
I've looked at what's the oldest Saturn game, and it's like some weird visual novel detective thing. It didn't translate to an American
detective thing.
When Bo spoke of the detectives, I started to think by myself. maybe this guy's going somewhere with this. That'd be a nice segue to start talking about detective stuff.
The Sonic Crackers Case Files, I think is what it's called.
That's right. That's what we're going to in our next segment. Barry, you are the tallest of mountains and the roughest of waves. What do you think of the Chaotix Casefiles in the most recent episode?
Well, I got to say, I went from, if I recall, way back when this was pre-release, you all were talking about, like, what's your excitement levels? And mine was, like, really a 1 out of 10. I was just like, I'm expecting 5-minute audio thingies that are super kiddie, that, they'll do 6 of them. It'll be like Chow Tales or something. It'll come and go. Right. But I got to admit, like, if you were to do a wiki entry on this and have all the notable, like, moments or notable things, it's like characters with voices for the very first time, characters coming back, like big plot points, references to things that haven't been referenced for decades, if ever. And also it makes the Chaotix themselves actually, like, really fun and enjoyable. And I guess it just took finding the right setting for them. Like, do they work in a game? I guess not. Do they work in a comic? Sometimes. But do they work in an audio drama? Surprisingly, yeah, they really do. So it's interesting. It's so I went from a 1 out of 10 to, since the latest episode, probably like an 8 out of 10. Like I've jumped up. I've jumped up there.
Yeah. And I should warn the listener, spoilers for up to the next to last episode of Chaotix Casefiles. I think there's going to be 8 now. Is that the...
Yeah.
It's like Harry Potter.
Right. They split
in the last one.
Yeah.
Right. Split it in half. It says part 1 right in it. Episode 7, part 1. Episode 8 is part 2. Episode 9 is not a thing. Unless, I don't know. Maybe this is gonna be the thing that has a secret episode. It wasn't Stranger Things. It wasn't Sherlock. It's gonna be Chaotix.
The episode art color too, don't they match the special whatevers in Chaotix? Not the Chaos Emeralds, but
the Chaos Rings.
Chaos Rings, yeah.
Yeah, the Chaos Ring colors match each episode poster.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what, if anything, episode 7 matches. I don't remember. I just listened to it. I wasn't looking at the key art, really.
Oh, well, if Sega's listening, I wish they would start sending me the free posters that they're sending influencers, because I'm seeing nobody's getting free posters in the mail. And I'm like, who are these guys?
Are they like full-on posters? You just said you wouldn't put up the limited run posters, but now you're asking Sega for more.
I have 11, 8.5 by 11 posters I switch out.
Oh.
Barry's pointing to his wall.
Yeah, I'm pointing in my wall.
Yes.
But no, anyway, yeah, as far as the case files go, I'm enjoying it. But this latest episode, I'm like, there's ramifications. I didn't know we'd be getting ramifications in canon and stuff.
I really enjoyed the episode 1, and the middle episodes I thought were, fine, but not super exciting. But man, I was compelled by episode 7. What a good audio drama that was.
It wasn't weak.
Right. Oh, yeah, you got to do your pun. What is the name of the show? It's called Sonic.
What is it? You have to say it.
All right. It's Sonic Weekly.
I am not weekly.
All right.
Yeah.
There we go. We did it.
We did it. What a joke.
That's what it takes to be infinite. Infinite is back.
That's right.
If you predicted Infinite based on the hints in the last episode, good job. That was kind of obvious, but hey, it's confirmed.
It is confirmed, right? They brought back Infinite, which for a while was off limits. I remember like when IDW started, they were told outright, you can't touch Infinite, you can't reference Infinite, we can't explore Infinite. He's just not here. Where is he? The assumption was he's dead. I think internally they were even like, yeah, he's dead. So who knows what changed? Who knows who decided, let's bring him back. But he is back. And we also don't fully know how or why it happened, because the episode, he does say it's the lenses.
The astroscopic lenses.
The astroscopic, I just can't stick in my head. He got the one astroscopic lens that hadn't been found from a mysterious benefactor. And we don't know who that is. So that lens was given to him. It gave him enough, he was juiced up just enough to start messing with everyone. And now here we are. There is no Phantom Ruby specifically. I haven't heard the distinctive Phantom Ruby sound effect. I don't think that played, right? It's some other sound effect.
I actually really like the Phantom Ruby sound effect. It's like, wow, wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow, 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 wow.
It is a good sound effect. I like it, but
it's cool.
Yeah. I mean, while last episode did make it pretty obvious, I was still a little surprised that Infinite showed up in the way that he did. And that, like, he's there, he's talking, he murders Eggman. I know Eggman's not really dead, but he should be. Like,
he flew so far, right? He flew over the horizon.
Yes. Yes, he did.
I think that's what I really liked about this series so far, is that it's doing all the things you didn't expect them to do, because we've told ourselves, like, we know enough behind the scenes that we're like, they're not going to reference Neutronic High, or they're not going to talk about Chaotic. Oh, they did. Okay. Well, they're not going to have humans. And there's humans. Look, there's humans on the key art. That's the first time we've seen a human outside of Gerald and Maria since 2008, right? That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to bring back Infinite. Oh, they brought back Infinite. Okay. Well, I guess everything's on the table then. Which is how Sonic storytelling in the comics and in expanded media should be, because it makes it fun and exciting, and you don't know what to expect next. And in fact, I read a lot of the Star Wars comics, and they're not doing so hot right now, but they do anything and everything. Like, there's always like interesting and surprising things, because there's very few things that are off limits for them. Like, they've done a whole Kylo Ren story where a lot of cool stuff happens. And I'm like, wow. Make this a movie. Like, this is fun and exciting. And I feel like with Sonic storytelling for a long time, they were like, you can't reference Infinite, you can't have Sage, you can't have the Chaotix do this. And that's not fun when you put up all these guardrails. I don't know, it makes me think something internally changed at SEGA and Sonic team for this to happen.
Right. I mean, my guess is probably the lore team, some Western voices, people at SEGA of America, Ian, Evan, maybe Katie, right? I mean, they're all sitting there, I think, being like, we can do more with this. Why don't we? Pushing until finally all the doors are open. And I mean, more often than not, I've been enjoying this series. There's been one or two things where I'm like, I don't know about that, but nothing that's ever made me go, I don't like this. Nothing that's ever made me not want to hear the next episode or find out what's going on. And there's definitely been some Sonic storytelling where I'm like, I just am not interested in what happens next. I can't say that about this. I'm excited to see how it all wraps up. I'm curious what happens with Rouge, the bat. There was some theorizing, last week, like, is Rouge a construct of Infinite? If she is, that's not something they addressed in this episode where Infinite shows up. It feels like if that was the case, Rouge would have become Infinite, and we would have dealt with it then.
If she was, then there's a lot of fans out there shipping Infinite and SBO right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, there is still an episode left. I'm assuming it'll be 20-some minutes, just like the rest. I will say, because, I'm being positive about it. Now, I'm going to say the one thing that stuck out to me, that it didn't occur to me in the moment, but you know what? It occurred to me later. You know how Sonic the Hedgehog is a video game?
Yeah,
I remember.
Yeah. So, like, the original Sonic the Hedgehog, you're playing as Sonic, right? And you're running forward, and there's like a mountain, right? And you're like, whoa, that's a mountain. And so when you're running and you press down, Sonic curls into a ball, and then he crashes through the mountain. So he's just rolling through stone and breaking things, right? So in this radio show, like, Sonic's in a cage, right?
No, I see where you're going with this. No, Sad AM Sonic would turn into a literal buzzsaw.
Yes, he would turn into a literal buzzsaw
and get out of it.
Yeah. And I know, like, it's different mediums and you're doing different things, but a lot of times in auxiliary media, it feels like, I'm watching something and I'm like, why doesn't Sonic just curl into a ball and break the robot and move on? That's what he would do, because that's what I do when I'm playing as Sonic.
Right. But he has been in jail a few times in the games, and he just doesn't even try.
Well, he was in jail, and right. Sonic Adventure 2 and Forces are the big ones. Adventure 2...
He's just behind bars.
Yeah, Adventure 2, he's just being annoyed, and I guess that makes sense. Forces, he's just sitting there for 6 months, and he's having a happy-go-lucky time. And that, to me, in SA2, it made more sense to me. I guess I was willing to suspend my disbelief more because the rest of the game is strong. Even though there's, some holes in the narrative itself feels coherent and like there's a point to when it's going somewhere. But with Forces, I have bigger issues with the storytelling and what it's doing. And so him being behind bars feels worse, especially the way he just is let go.
For 6 months. Like they put a time on it too, which is so weird because it's like Sonic is timeless and he doesn't age, but he just spent half a year behind bars. Does that mean every other Sonic game took place over 6 months? Like,
right.
I don't like when they use, it's kind of, The Simpsons does that too sometimes. It's like Homer loses like months, like, or a year. And I'm like, this show is a weekly show. It's not like, anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So even in like the first episode when the Buzz Bomber shows up, it's like in game, Vector would put Charmy and Espio in his mouth and shoot them at the Buzz Bomber and it'd be done in 2 seconds. And like I said, I know it's different, different mediums and storytelling has to be different because there isn't gameplay, but sometimes there are things that feel slightly disconnected. It's almost like the opposite of, say, you're playing a video game that stars Superman, which is probably why they don't make games with Superman. And they have to nerf him in a way because like you have to give him a life bar. Maybe he can't fly forever. Maybe he can't use his heat vision forever. While in the comics, he can do everything. So it's sort of like the reverse with Sonic. I don't know, but it's not enough. That is my nitpick of the day. It's just like, why didn't Sonic try to roll into a ball? Or at least them say, oh man, these bars are made of like titanium steel and not even my spin attack can break them. Just a throwaway
that's
line.
my rule for these sorts of things is if it can be explained in a way in a single line, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to say the line, but if I can imagine what the line would be, then okay, fine.
Yeah. Imagining lines does help me with some fiction. Because it's always just like, just one little thing will resolve it.
Maybe this will be answered in the last episode, but who was assembling the case files that they were trying to access in episode 6 about Infinite, the Code Phantom thing? Because if Eggman was surprised about it, so was it Eggman?
Was it Gun?
Why were there files and why were they classified? Could be Gun, yeah.
Right. Was it Professor Tori? Like, is she the one who was the mysterious benefactor? Did she contact Infinite?
It's either her or Kitsch, and I'm gonna lean toward her.
Yeah.
As I said in the last one, like the trope of the detective story is that the client is always hiding
one episode
something.
To go. Maybe we'll get Ben Kingsley as Professor Pickle.
Whoa. That's who he's going to be in the movie.
That's who I think he's going to be.
Professor Pickle.
I'm not joking.
Do you think he'll win an Oscar for being Professor Pickle?
I think he will.
Wow. That's right. Yeah, the Oscars are coming up. I mean, Sonic's not there, but...
Sonic should have won in the ones that took place in 2021 because he had like the top movie of the year.
Yeah, he was the only movie, right?
Exactly.
The only one.
Sonic 1 deserved an Oscar is the official position of this show.
Mm-hmm. I believe that Jeff Fowler should win Best Director. I mean, assuming Sonic 4 is up to the same quality of Sonics 1 through 3, put him in the running. Best Supporting Actor, Idris Elba. I want him there.
Have we had a film series where it's remained this consistent in terms of the behind the scenes and on camera? There hasn't been any major recasting.
No.
Right? Maybe they recast the dog. I could be wrong.
No.
Yeah, because even like Marvel, you think like they had a decade and...
No, but they replaced Hulk early
Right, they did replace Hulk. Like, Terrence Howard was replaced between Iron Man 1 and 2. Jon Favreau directed 1 and 2, but not 3.
Mm-hmm.
Joss Whedon did Avengers 1 and 2, but not the 3 and 4. There's constant changes behind the scenes, even if, what's his face? The main producer, Kevin...
Yeah, Feige.
Feige, yeah. Like, sure, he's there the whole time, but he's not making all the movies. He just gets to be on top. Right. Even something like Fast and the Furious, you do not have
different directors, different stars.
Like immediately, you're not. So even franchises like that, Godfather.
Yeah, maybe. Now, when Tyson, Josh, and Pat were on here, they were talking about how they all like working with each other, and everybody in Hollywood says, "Oh, it's such an honor to work with." Yada yada. But it sounded like they meant it.
Yeah.
I feel like some franchises or films are like stepping stones for other opportunities. And I think the Sonic movies like attracted all the Sonic fans. And they're like, well, I just want to keep making Sonic movies because if I leave, someone will replace me and they might make a bad Sonic movie. And then I'll be attached. Like, that'll be my legacy is like, oh man, remember when Sonic 5 came out and they like recast half the characters and Tom died off screen and they had a new director and it was Disney produced it because Paramount went out of business.
Service their debt. Yeah.
Right. Do you think Disney will buy Paramount and in the process also buy Warner Brothers because they bought Paramount?
I would love it if Disney bought everything and then changed their name to By and Large and then WALL-E became canon, like real world canon.
Real world canon. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that means the human race will just hang out in space for a few hundred years, drinking Slurpees.
I've seen recently that studies shown that like the youngest generation spends more time just laying down scrolling on their phone. And that's pretty much what we become in WALL-E. So, yeah.
Right. Those drinks in WALL-E are more slurpy than icy, right?
They are. I wouldn't mind that though. But Ozempic's a thing now. So that kind of, I don't know why they're not taking Ozempic in WALL-E.
All right. Well, you see the slow... The gradual change when they show all the different captains, like they start out fit. So it must be at some point they went, who cares?
And they start out live action too, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Which is where the Sonic movies could go. We could maybe jump forward and Tom and Maddie evolve into the unleashed cartoony humans we know.
Yeah. I think there's some potential here.
No, I think the Phantom Ruby will be introduced and that cartoonifies the entire universe, except for the dog.
Could you imagine a world where the first Sonic movie does okay and it becomes a direct-to-DVD series moving forward, and we have like 10 of them and like infinites and like the 8th one where they turn the 8 sideways and it's called Sonic Infinite.
Oh.
And it's direct-to-DVD. That would be awesome.
We should have had that. There should have been a 90s Sonic movie and then a series of ill-considered sequels.
Oh my God.
And then like the 7th one is like, weirdly good. And then 8 through 12 are back to bad.
Right.
And
that's what happened to Casper. I went to go see the revival of it in the theaters. It was awesome. And then I was like, what other Casper movies are there? I'm like, oh, they went the direct-to-DVD route. And, and they're like, oh, Spooky's in it.
Right. Wasn't there a crossover, a Casper
with Wendy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a big Harvey. It was Harvey, right? Harvey Toons.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of theirs. I like their comics.
Right. Richie Rich is, I think, part of that.
Baby Huey.
Baby Huey.
Good stuff. But yeah, I feel like Sonic missed the boat. I feel like we should have had a bad CGI series of Sonic movies in like the late 90s, direct to DVD. And it just never happened.
Right. Well, I guess it's because if the original pitch where Sonic was a teenager had come out, we would have gotten the direct-to-video sequel where they recast the kid and maybe the dad, but then like, no, I feel like maybe the dad would have stayed because if he was like, he's not an A-tier actor, but the kid probably would be like, well, now I'm on the cover of Teen Beat and like I'm trying to get a sitcom.
Right.
Well,
the kid's permanently Sonic from there on out, and they slowly kind of make it a little more accurate to the games, but the dad is there. He's the only actor in American Pie, where Eugene Levy is the only actor in all the movies.
That is true. God, what a strange franchise just to think about.
And what you'd think, oh, like at the time you're like, this is the guy that's not going to go anywhere. And he's the one with the biggest career after American Pie. Like he has this revival with Schitt's Creek. And
yeah, everyone loves Eugene Levy. It's just, I guess he's just like, I won't turn down work. I will be in these 4 direct-to-DVD movies.
Now, have you talked about Jim Carrey's plastic surgery and how that might affect his look? Should he return?
We did allude to that.
And first off, why is it a secret that Jim Carrey will or won't return for every movie? Do they know? Or is it truly something they don't even know themselves mid-filming?
I feel like...
I think they certainly knew for 2.
Right. For 2, they knew.
He was excited.
And I think for 3, by the time they started filming, we knew he was going to be there. I feel like we knew at that point, right?
For 2, we saw a stand-in doing the levitating scene towards the end where he's floating up in where I visited in Fort Langley in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So we never saw him on set. I think he did a lot of green screen work.
Okay.
Post-production. I think he was probably all post-production. I could be wrong. I don't think he was ever on set or on location. Yeah. Same for 3, I think. I think he was probably green screen for most of 3 too.
Right.
Trying to think of scenes where he was like in a very clearly outdoor location. I don't think he was.
No. So, I mean, even outdoors, how often was he outdoors in that movie? He stood outside a building in an alleyway before they went into gun headquarters. That might be the only time he was outside, even.
And that was a set.
That was a set, yeah. We know 4 is filming. They started filming, but they have not said one way or the other if Jim Carrey is there, if Robotnik is there.
I'm guessing no.
Yeah, I don't think he's on set at all.
Oh, I think he's not going to be in the movie.
Oh, you don't think so? You think they actually had him die?
Well, I'm not saying he's not going to be in any more movies. I just don't think he's going to be in this one.
I will say, talking about the Chaotix Casefiles, I did appreciate I don't know if it was an allusion to the movies or maybe to Sonic Adventure 2, but Eggman was talking about how like he needs like an Earth to rule. Like he wouldn't want to destroy the Earth completely. Mm-hmm. And it kind of reminded me of the end of Sonic 3, where he was like, no, I need the Earth because I need to rule it. I need these people to love me. It's like, and I really appreciate that aspect to Eggman's character. That's why he's, in my opinion, I think he's one of the greatest like video game villains of all time. And I've argued with people like, no, Bowser. And I'm like, Bowser is not exciting. No one gets excited to see Bowser in media.
Bowser did not build a theme park.
No,
on the floating island.
You look at any Sonic media, and more often than not, Robotnik or Eggman is people's favorite character. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, he's the best character on that show. Mike Pollock's depiction, he's typically the best and funniest on either like Sonic Boom or Chaotix Casefiles or even in some of the games. Jim Carrey's Robotnik, so it's like, I feel like he's the all-time best video game villain. And I like that element to him where he's like, you could be friends with him. Like if you just kind of suck up to him and tell him he's great, I feel. And that's why Snively made it so far. And but one thing I did want to say about Infinite being back.
Yes.
We don't know what's going to happen to him in the next one, but also in the IDW comics, I'm not caught up yet, but I know there's like a tombstone filled with Chaos Emeralds. That's like a plot point, and someone's collecting the emeralds. And I've heard people say, oh, it might be Infinite. He's like edgy enough to have like a tombstone filled with Chaos Emeralds. But I'm like, if it is Infinite in the comics and Sonic's confused by who the tombstone belongs to, I don't think it would be Infinite in the comics because Infinite's in this, unless they pull some sort of shenanigans like they did with Sage, where they were like, oh yeah, Sonic Frontiers happened way back around issue 60. And no one talked about it. Sonic's never like, hey guys, isn't that crazy that we learned that Chaos was actually an alien?
Right. They never address the fallout. And also they never go on their separate ways. The end of Frontiers, they're like, we're going to take some time away from each other. You didn't. You're all stuck with each other forever.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the discourse around the movie Turning Red, where people are like, it takes place 1 year after 9/11 and no one's talking about 9/11. It's like, really? We just had the events of Sonic Frontier. We spent like 60 issues talking about the fallout from Sonic Forces.
Yeah.
But Sonic Frontiers happens and it's just like a blip.
It doesn't matter. Right.
It doesn't matter. It's very odd. And then Sage is back. Like, oh, that's Sage. It's like, oh, where was she?
Right. Why was she off? I don't
know.
Right. I think the other going theory for the IDW books is that it's Starline, that they're bringing him back. Because I don't know who else would fill that role who's dead. I mean, unless it's Witchcart.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It's Wendy Witchcart. She's like, hey, you thought I was dead, but I'm not.
They did go to the effort of designing her legs. Do you remember that? The bonus art in that book, they were like, hey, Sonic fans, Wendy Witchcart and all of her like minions never had legs. So we actually were the first ones to officially design them. Their character sprites were always in little vehicles.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we got to reel this in here.
Uh-oh.
If you've got theories about who's collecting the Chaos Emeralds in the Tombstone, if you know how things are going to resolve in the Chaotix Casefiles, send your theories to SonicWeeklyPodcast@gmail.com. And we're going to have David take us out here.
Whoa. Right. When the show starts, the sun is rising, and then we talk all day. And we cut out 90% of the show. So it's only an hour. And then the sun comes down, and you're like, whoa, you reached the end of another episode of Sonic Weekly. That's right. The show that comes out once every 7 days or so and is definitely not weak, as established earlier. I mean, unless sometimes, I don't know. You know how there's like a strong force and a weak force? I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's okay. Hey, if you've enjoyed what you've heard so far and you haven't done so already, we invite you to subscribe to this show using your podcatcher of choice, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or for the Android faithful, Podcast Addict. Give us a rating, give us a review, whatever your podcatcher supports. We appreciate it, and so does the magical algorithm. But if you reject all podcatchers, and I don't blame you if you do, we are also over on YouTube at Sonic-Weekly. You can like, comment, subscribe, and our voices are joined as always by video game footage recorded by friend of the show, Jack of Old Games. That's also where you can check out our Sonic Weekly shorts, little bite-sized morsels of this program that you can give to friends and family alike. You want to reach out to the show? SonicWeeklyPodcast@gmail.com, just like Bo said. Drop us a line. Let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. And it's the only way to get a link to our Discord server. Ask for it, or I'll send it right off. And soon enough, you'll be talking to some like-minded Sonic the Hedgehog fans about many things up to and including Sonic T. Hedgehog. And we're also over on Blue Sky. We're just Sonic Weekly over there. I guess you could repost whenever an episode comes out if you want. We haven't really done much more with it, as in I haven't done much more with it, but it exists. I forget to mention it. That's all right. Hey, and if you want to help support the show in a financial manner, we're also over on Ko-fi. We're just Sonic Weekly over there. You can throw something in the tip jar for $5 a month. You can become one of our executive producers, just like PigDan, Pabsy, Sonikku, SavingThrows, Belgarion, Rat, Liker, 63, Dr. Hate, PhD, Sertoo, Butterbeerhawk, and OverthinkingMovies. And as I am required by law to say, you're all exceptionally smart, talented, and we all think you're really keen. But if you're not able to, that's perfectly fine. We're just happy that you're here. And hey, tell your buddies, they're all welcome. I'm gonna thank Barry for joining us. Hey, I guess we didn't do it because you're here.
Yeah.
If you want to plug whatever's happening over in the world of Sega Bits, you can do your ad live. Why not?
Oh my God. Do it live at the end. Yeah, I can do that. We got some fun stuff going on. So we did a Sega Talk episode on 5 Sega Saturn imports worth playing. So games that didn't make it west that we think are super cool and groovy and fun to play. We also have an episode up on our Patreon that'll go to the main site in a few weeks. We talked about Dick Tracy, the very first game from the Sega Technical Institutes. We talked about how they put their team together on the fly and made a really fun action-adventure game over the course of 5 months. And then also on the site, we have a really great write-up on the life of Hideki Sato. It is a very nice, lengthy article that takes portions of interviews that he gave and kind of strips out a lot of the more technical aspects to what he was talking about and really makes it a nice, fun, readable article about his life. So you can check that out on the site as well.
Oh, sounds cool.
Yeah.
So if you're out there listening, check it out. SegaBits.com, .net.org, .gov.
Okay.
Oh, why not? And then, what do we... Oh, yeah. So we're going to thank Altsynth for the edit. Thanks Smoothies for the Rings of Saturn jingle. Thank you, Bo, for joining us. Whoa, joining you and I, me and you, and Grant, who I know is here somewhere.
Nope.
He'll be back next week. I can thank him in person. Until then, I got to write it down on a note and send it off to him. And Bo, you should probably write your name on there too. It's a card. Everyone in the office is signing it. I'm sure you've done that a few times.
work in an office by myself. I send my own card.